going to be talking about, the best class, in my opinion, the best class in Warzone to use is actually, I'm going to get it started here, best class possible. Just going to say this right here, right now. One of my favorite weapons, it is the AUG, and the attachments are insane. You need to get at least the 5.56 NATO 60 round drums. Like, it's insane. Does ton more damage. Look at the damage. No perk, and look at the damage. It's insane. Then you also need the 407mm extended barrel, which is pretty good. Adds range. Aim down sight speed goes lower, but the mobility doesn't really matter in Warzone. You just gotta have good aim. Make sure you don't get hit as much, and just, have fun. That's pretty much what it's all about. But then, first, no laser, no optic. For the stock, you gotta have the Forge Tech CQB comb. It is probably one of the best stocks because it adds a little bit more mobility, but less accuracy. But you're gonna want more mobility than a little bit more mobility than normal because of how the gun works. And this is a custom mod. It's called the Leecher, and it's not that bad. But if you guys don't have this and you have most of the attachments, you're definitely gonna want a monolithic suppressor because it works very well with this gun. You're definitely gonna want suppression during like low sounded shots are amazing. And for the underbarrel, commando foregrip is probably the best. Movement speed is less, but it's okay because you're gonna want recoil. You don't want recoil. That's the worst thing you could have. And then with that, you're gonna also want some kind of sniper. And if you guys want to, you can also go with the RPG with no overkill. But the best perks for this too are always quick fix, overkill if you want a sniper, maybe ghost because there's always gonna be UAV somewhere. And then definitely amped, or shrapnel, or even battle hardened. Any of these three are probably one of the best. And you also want to go with C4. The best thing you could possibly go with, in my opinion, in Warzone is C4 or Thermite, because Thermite, it's good. I think it's a 2-hit. I've never really used it, but C4 is probably one of my favorites. I've never really used frags or stem techs, but they're fun. You're always going to want stems. But my favorite in Warzone right now is stems. I've never stopped using stems. But if you're stuck in a situation and you're by kids, you're always going to want a heartbeat sensor. So either heartbeat sensor or stim is probably one of the best. So those are the perks: lethal and tactical, and the primary weapon. The secondary weapon, you always are going to want some type of RPG, maybe a marksman rifle, but you don't want any like shotguns or extra assault rifles if you have one in the first class. You always want a far range gun. And my favorite right now is definitely the AX-50. I've been using this gun. It's maxed out for me, as you can tell. It's maxed out. It's gold. Like, I'm going insane with it. It's been a really good class. But the scope in, you don't want it to scope in so fast because you're not going to be using this up close. You're going to be using this from a decently far range. So what you're going to want is a variable zoom scope, definitely. A 32.0-inch factory barrel. It's amazing. It adds range. It's insane. But the aim down sight speed goes down. But again, you don't need that because you're going to have a lot of fun just sniping from far. Adds a lot of range. So does the Singard Arms Pro. Either one of these are really good because they work really well with range. The 17.0-inch factory barrel is also really good, but aim down sight speed goes up, but the range on this is probably one of the worst. So if you're in Warzone, I wouldn't use this. If you were going to play multiplayer, this is probably amazing because of you in multiplayer, you're going to be playing fast pace. But in Warzone, you guys stay back, have some fun, Then you need for the stock, no laser, no muzzle. You want to just, because if you're going to be sniping from far, nobody's really going to hear you snipe. So for the stock, you're going to need either a Singard Arms Assassin or a Singard Arms Marksman. Either one of these two are amazing. This, it depends on what you guys like, but I also like the Singard Arms Assassin because it still adds on speed to the scope in, and it's nice. No underbarrel, no ammunition. Because the thing with ammunition is you're not going to be sniping the whole time, so you don't need a lot of ammunition. You just need to get a ton of backup ammo. Make sure you guys have a ton of sniper ammo. It's the X50 is insane in this mode. So is the HDR. It just depends on how you guys use it. AX50 is more of a, I'd say more of a medium long range, when the HDR is more like far, far, far long range. That's all I gotta say about these two guns. And then for the rear grip is the I can't even say that, it's so bad. Oh my god. But it's definitely the granulated grip tape. There we go. Because one, the aiming stability and the aiming walk and steadiness is definitely what you need. It adds on to the accuracy, and it's amazing in Warzone, in my opinion. It's one of my favorite guns so far in the game, AX50. I'm really only a sniper user in this game now. I don't really like using any other guns, you know. And then for the perk, I mean, it's up to you guys, but the perk is definitely either focus, FMJ, or presence of mind, because you're gonna want to use any of these three because they always work. And focus helps you when you're getting shot. Presence of mind helps you when you're aiming in and you want to hold your breath so your aim is steady on someone. And FMJ just adds damage, and in my opinion FMJ is one of my favorites, only because it adds damage to it and you can get a lot more damage with it. And also, one more thing. So when you're doing a Warzone match, where's the class? And you're like up close and personal, this is also a great class for it. The Car 98. I use the quicker scope in Car 98 only because it's easier for me, and I'm more of a quick scoper. But the attachments, no muzzle, no barrel, no underbarrel. But if you want to get up close and personal, these are the weapons you have to use, no doubt. So the tac laser, aim down sight speed, aiming stability, ups all those things. Mobility, control, accuracy, it's amazing when you're close up. The variable zoom scope, you could see further, it's nice. Aim down sight speed slower, but the range goes up so much further. The F-Tac Sport Comb, aim down sight speed. See, I'm telling you, this gun, these attachments are helping you with your aim down sight speed only because of how good you can get with the Car 98. Like, I'm pretty good with it. I don't use it a lot anymore because I've been playing a lot of Warzone and all that, so I really only use this when I'm getting good, like, up close and personal with people and Warzone, and I want to push kids. And that's pretty much it for the Car 98. You know, the rear grip is always stipple grip tape because it aimed on sight speed. Again, I love fast scoping guns when it comes to close up and personal, because you're going to need to quick scope at some point. And then FMJ, amazing, extra damage. But this one also, you're always gonna want to put probably FMJ, heavy hitter, because you may want to get, again, up close and personal and hit kids. You know, just have fun. Fully loaded is nice. Presence of mind is also good. This is a great class, and I maxed this one out too. I just love this gun in multiplayer. It's also good and really good in multiplayer. It's amazing in multiplayer, so it's a lot of fun. And then there's also, again, up close and personal, always got to go with the MP5. My favorite attachments for this right now, because it adds damage, and if you look in the bottom left corner, look how much the damage goes up, but the fire rate goes down, everything else goes up. Fire rate, in my opinion, doesn't really matter to me at this point in this game, because it's just mostly Warzone, and when you're close to people, fire rate doesn't really matter. But for no muzzle, you don't really need a muzzle in this class unless you want to do suppressor to add a range. I would go with the monolithic suppressor. This one's really nice. This one adds a ton of range. The barrel, again, to add a lot of range, I would go with either the subsonic interjoule suppressor or the monolithic interjoule suppressor. Only because this one adds a lot more range, and aim down sight speed goes down, but it's okay because it's only a barrel and you're not really gonna do anything much with it. But this one is also really good. This one is a light suppressor, but it adds on sound suppression, no visible tracers, aim down sight speed goes up, no enemy skulls, which is amazing in my opinion for Warzone and up close. And the bullet velocity is nice. It's good, but that's the thing. You don't want as much mobility because you're not gonna be going up to kids and hitting them, and just you're not gonna be doing all that with this class, especially with the MP5. But the Car 98, you're not gonna be doing that. But the MP5, it's amazing in Warzone in my opinion. And then for the next, for the stock, you're either gonna want to use the classic straight line stock. This one is good. Aim walking movement speed is, I mean, it slows your speed down when you're aiming and walking, but it's okay because you're not going to be really aiming and walking, you're just going to be aiming and shooting. The aiming stability is also amazing on this, but the one thing I recommend is this one because the aiming stability doesn't really matter in my opinion. I don't know why, but the aim walking movement speed is really nice. It's awesome. It's fun to use, and that's it. The perk, FMJ, or wounding, frangible wounding, or burst. Burst is also really nice. And burst, I mean, it could be a 1 hit, could be a 2 hit, maybe a 3 or 4 hit. But this is also one of the best. Sorry about the background. This is also one of the best weapons for Warzone up close and personal, in my opinion. All right, let's move on. The underbarrel. The underbarrel is very important on this class. Commando foregrip is insane. You wanna get as much recoil stabilization as much as you can, because you're not gonna be really. You don't want recoil in Warzone, because it's not the greatest for, Warzone recoil. It doesn't work well. It's not that easy to control weapons and stuff. And then for ammunition, we're doing 10mm auto 30 round mag because the damage and range goes up. Fire rate and recoil control goes down, but that's pretty much it. And why?
I hope it is anchored.
It is. It's anchored pretty well.
It's heavy.
I know. Not always gonna put my headphones up there though. All right. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, sorry. I don't want to come in and see the fucking dinosaur head.
Also, and for this class, I always put on throwing knife, only because it's with a sniper and you're gonna be up close and personal, and throwing knife's easy. Always put on stim. Always, in my opinion, you always gotta put on stim. Always. Amped is also okay for the perk selection. This is a hard choice, but amped is the best in my opinion. For perk 3, perk 2 overkill, only because I have the Carnage 8. Perk 1 EOD or quick fix is the best in my opinion. Or if you're running low on ammo, scavenger. It depends on how you're gonna play. But yeah, those are the best 2 classes in my opinion. Those are my favorite 2 classes, and they're just so much fun to use. They're easy, they're fun. You can still in my opinion, Warzone's just about having fun. But these are pretty good classes. They are easy kill wins, high kill wins you can get with them, but it depends on your gameplay. If you like pushing kids, MP5 and Carnage 8, no doubt. If you don't like pushing kids and you like staying back and just being medium range and far range, it's definitely the AUG and the AX50, because you're going to be further away than most. So, alright, well, thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys